Bring this meeting of the Ocean Island Port Authority to order for Wednesday, June the 8th at the Betty Cook Nassau Center. Please stand for the pledge and the invocation. Mr. Cole, would you lead us in prayer?
I sure will. Heavenly Father, Lord, we do thank you for our many blessings. We thank you for the privilege to be here tonight to engage for the community and for the people of Nassau County. Lord, we ask now that you would give us wisdom and discernment in all that we do. And we pray for our country, our first responders, and servicemen and women. And ask all this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join me in pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Franklin.
Here.
Commissioner Hannah.
Here.
Vice Chairman Cole.
Here.
Chairman Fullwood.
Present.
Commissioner Hill is absent. And so is Mr. Krichowski
And here.
and Pierre, Mr. Laporte.
I know he knows where this is. Okay. All right. Any comments from the audience? None.
None.
Approval of minutes. Separate them or take them together? Motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as they stand. I didn't see any corrections.
Second, motion to approve both sets of minutes for May 11th and May 25th. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. And we have the court attorney is on vacation somewhere out in the country. Here, court accountant is not here yet. He did send the financial report in, though it's on the right.
Yes.
Got
It's in the
it.
back.
Look at it. Let me find it. All right. Over there real quick, any discussion about the budget items? Okay. Next page, the Customs House. Speaking of the Customs House, they got the windows put in. This week. We were there when it happened. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What we got next? We'll talk about ARPA funds because he's not here. Executive Director's Report. That's a new item on the agenda. Proud to say, David's first meeting. Welcome aboard and do your thing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, commissioners, for, again, for selecting me and moving forward with this position. It's been an exciting, busy week so far. Yes, it has. This is today, I guess, completes the week. During the course of this past week, I've met with four out of each of you. And I'm meeting with Commissioner Hill next week. So it's been a good opportunity for us to get to know each other a little better and to talk about some issues that are confronting the commission. So I look forward to doing those meetings on a regular basis, probably as I mentioned, I think some of you, perhaps on the off weeks when we don't have a commission meeting. So, the chairman and I also had an opportunity to meet with the property tax appraiser on some tangible property tax issues. And I'll be getting together with Chris to make sure we get those forms sent back in timely to the appraiser. We met with CBP, the local office, regarding their IT requests that they made to us last couple weeks. It was a good meeting. They're going to provide me with contact with their IT folks so we can confirm, the request, make sure that we understand the numbers and the procurement of that. And then we'll come back with some update on that probably at the next meeting. On Monday, this past Monday, I had the opportunity to travel to Tallahassee. Met with the new FDOT Secretary, Jerry Purdue, and his senior team, which fortunately I have a long history with each of those members. Brad Thoburn, who worked in Jacksonville for quite some time, as well as Kenyatta Lee, who worked with me at Jacksport for a number of years, and Will Watts, who came out of District 2, also are sort of his three top executives within DOT now. So it was a very good meeting. There were 7 other ports that were represented there. So it was very positive get together. The annual FSTED Florida Ports Council meeting will be held at the end of August, August 30th to September 1st down in Key West. So I will put together a travel budget for that for you guys for approval on that. I'll be attending the TPO board meeting tomorrow morning, as Commissioner Cole will be. For those that don't know, Commissioner Cole will be the next chairman of the TPO, which is great for Nassau County, great for OHPA, and really quite a coup because he'll be the first independent authority to chair that position. So it's always been a county representative. So that's a great feather for us. Had a good long 2-hour meeting with Kyle Kaufman, the FDOT District 2 staff, to review our grants and provide input and give him an update on where we are with the port master plan. As part of that conversation, I mentioned to him that we had some concerns with the railroad notification signage at Front Street and Dade, brought to me by Commissioner as part of one of our briefs. And so they have immediately sent it to their rail office. We're going to do an on-site meeting in July to look at the area, see if there is a place to install, either crossing arms or at least a flashing beacon or some additional warning. Because right now they just have that cross buckle sign. I think it's even hidden behind a light pole or something. So and you got a blind spot with that warehouse. So we're a little concerned about that. So got some immediate reaction from FDOT, and I appreciate that. I'll be meeting hopefully with Chris in the next day or two. We've got a long agenda of items for us to review and talk about. So look forward to doing that. We had our first master plan stakeholder meeting just prior to this meeting, and Justin Cole from RCH is here to give us an update on that, but I think it was a very positive meeting. It went really well. I've also started working with the Florida Ports Council staff on some of the invoices for some of the grants that we've received in the past. You may know that there's several invoices that are past due. And so we're working with Florida Ports Council to make sure that, and with Chris to make sure that those get accounted for and paid for. And there's also potential. We have a grant that was offered to us for current year funding that requires OHPA to execute the PTGA, Public Transportation Grant Agreement. If I ever slip into calling it the JPA, forgive me, because they used to be called Joint Participation Agreements when I was still doing it in Jacksonville, but they're now PTGAs. according to the rules, you're supposed to execute that before the next fiscal year starts, which would be July 1, or you risk those dollars being absorbed by somebody else. So the next opportunity for us to do that would be at the next board meeting. I want to make sure before we do that. And that grant right now is planned to supplement a previous grant that you guys executed for the warehouse. So it'd be another $200,000. The intent is to put it on that. Before we do that, once again with Chris, and make sure that we come to an agreement on the use of those funds and how to administer those. But I have pretty good sense that if we don't work it out by next week or in time for you guys to vote on it, that I think DOT and the Florida Ports Council will work with us, knowing that we're in this transitionary period to make sure that we don't lose those dollars. And then the last thing, just to let you know, I may look to take off a day or two at the end of next week, perhaps. I've got an anniversary coming up. We haven't been able to celebrate in a couple of years, so we may take a day or two, but if we do, it'll be fairly local and I'll be contacting. Which anniversary? 31. That's all I have unless you have any questions.
Any questions for?
Very excited.
Yeah, getting selling, I ordered my shirts, getting ready to order my business cards. So we'll be all set, ready to go.
I just want to say I'm real happy so far. It's only been on for 8 days. And he's done more than I ever expected him to do in 8 days. Got a big vision for where we need to be, where we're going, and I can't tell you what an asset he's going to be to us and helping us out, keeping things on track. And some communication, not only with Chris, but with everybody. And that's what we're paying for. So, David, thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You know, just call on any of us anytime you need us, and we'll be there.
Thank you.
All right, great job. All right, moving on. Chris, let's go ahead and get you. I don't guess Peter is going to show up tonight, so I don't know about the ARPA funds, where we stand on those. I know we just submitted something again for reimbursement. Right, Rosanna, did we submit a?
I think we're just waiting for January, February, March payroll reimbursement.
Submitted something after that. But anyway, he's on top of it. He's keeping us funded, getting those forces as quickly as he can. All right. Chris, your turn.
I'm sorry, he turned in for the master plan reimbursement as well.
Yeah, master plan. Can you go something?
Chris, if I understand this form, the 2021, you said year to date. Is that a full calendar year, or is that in comparison to the 5 months of 2022? You got 2019 total, 2020 total, 2021 year to date.
Right,
Is that a full year? It looks like it's a full year.
yeah, it does. I'm not sure because you have 2021 year to date on the right as well.
Yeah.
Which looks more like year to date. Yeah, so that's the seasonal.
Yeah, so I think the one on the left is probably total and one on the right is year to date.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll get that
Well, I've always understood.
correct. So overall tonnage, 28,695. Puts us increasing our variance to the positive. We're running 50,220 tons ahead of the pace year to date last year in May.
Why was total tonnage down as much this month?
Yeah, you can see we only had a small amount of wood pulp. We've already gotten a large shipment of wood pulp in June and a second one on the way next week. So,
Plus a small shipment of flour.
well, we have plywood coming next week, and we had 5,000 tons of lumber this week, just completed today. We didn't have any lumber last month, nor any plywood. I'm sorry, we had 2,400 tons of plywood. So you see the sort of up month and slightly down month, but the down months are pretty much staying close to 30,000 tons. So that's good. Eight port calls, 196 rail cars, and 20 trucks per day, which is lower than the average over the year to date.
Chris, is there a seasonal component to this quarter?
Yes, definitely. The KLB exports has a seasonality. It tends to start to decline a bit in the late summer and fall. Hasn't started yet. In fact, we had 10,000 tons of wood of export KLB completed earlier this week. And there's another 6,000 ton vessel loading next week. So June is going to be a big month. I just got an inquiry on my email, believe it or not, since I left you guys to now. Another vessel operator that we've handled from time to time wants to know if we have room for 11,000 tons of wood pulp next week. Unfortunately, if he comes on the 15th, which is his proposed date, we wouldn't have room for it. If I can push him out another week, I'm not going to squeeze him in. So that's the level of demand we have and the pressure on the existing warehouse facilities. And that's the largest, you would know, Dave, the largest break bulk operator in the world. Unless you have any other questions.
Any questions for Chris? All right. At unfinished business, we were gonna do port tariff, approve the port tariff tonight, but I was asked to hold off another, at least one more meeting. Because one commissioner was out and the port attorney's not here, and I wanted to make sure they were here, so we'll do that hopefully next meeting. Our next thing is the port master plan. Justin, we'll come up and give us some info.
Good evening, everybody. As Dave mentioned, we had our first state board meeting today. Well attended, all the 2 of the 11 were there. We went through basically the process we've gone through to this point, to the due diligence we've done for the report to basically gather all the information. And now we'll start hammering out the actual narrative and the report itself, which will be done over the next about month and a half or so. So I think it was well received, kind of explained to everyone what we'd expect from the stakeholders and gave them an invitation to reach out to us at any time to speak privately as well. But there was good feedback in the meeting itself. And yeah, I think it's moving forward well. So Chairman was there and he did as well. So if you guys have anything to add, but that's where we're at.
We've got 2 more stakeholder meetings, and then we'll do a public meeting. We're gonna do that at City Hall on June the 29th, August 23rd.
We were informed the meeting August 23rd date may not be good.
That's right.
Due to the election. So that may get adjusted, but
Okay.
we do plan to hold the one later this month on the 29th in City Hall. So we'll get public notices out on that and look forward to hearing from the community.
I thought the community input today was excellent. A lot of questions asked, and I think we were able to explain a lot of things about what the master plan was, how we would be relying on the master plan for future planning, what our restraints were. As for input from everybody, got some good input from everybody. I think everybody was happy with the direction we're taking and the fact that we're involved in the community this time.
That's right.
That was the biggest thing. Everybody was very positive. I didn't hear any negative stuff come out of it. Well, I heard one negative thing, and by the end of the meeting, that was taken care of.
That's right.
So I think it's pretty positive. The master plan's going well, and I think it's going to be a cherry on the cake when we're finished. So, any questions for Justin? Justin, thank you very much for being here and for your work today. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Anything on the warehouse project? An update, any kind of update we have?
I don't have anything. That's one of the things I need to sit down with Chris on and reach
Yeah,
an
we need to-
agreement, so.
Yeah, we've received a proposed contract from the vendor, which I didn't put forward tonight because I knew Patrick wasn't going to be here. I'll circulate to you, all of you Friday, so you can start looking at it, and then we can have discussions before the next meeting.
Before we take action on it, just really want to have an agreement between us. and
Right,
That's what
yeah,
our
yeah,
terminals
yeah.
outside of that. So
I think we already have an agreement, but I want to give you the comfort that that we're going to do it.
Any questions about that? Custom house we already talked about. They've got the windows put in and got it. They've got a better understanding of what our restraints are, and but they're willing to continue working with us, and I think in the end it's going to all work out. It's just a matter of time and money, which is always for it. Okay. Security grant. That's due the 24th. The RFPs will be the 20th. Any response as yet?
None,
So,
zero.
but I know there are at least 2 companies looking at the grant. So hopefully by next meeting, we'll have something to share with you. All right, new business. David, you want to talk about that one?
well, this one really doesn't require any action. This is just additional funding that's being put on an existing grant that we have the authority to execute.
Right.
There's no action required.
And I don't know if I reported this last meeting or not. We did get extra money added on to the master plan grant. So we're a little better off in that situation now. If that very agreeable that they could help us out, and they did.
They added another 30,000, which takes their match up to the full 50.
Right. So it's all financed now. So we just gotta do our part. All right. Anything else on the new business? Anybody? All right. Hope it's gonna be a quick meeting. Committee reports, port security, nothing to report on the port security, FDOT. I think we talked about FDOT tonight. Kyle's working with us pretty well right now, and getting all these grants taken care of and making sure we're up to date on everything. So that's going well. Customs House, Mr. Franklin, you got anything you want to add?
I talked to Eric and them today to Border Patrol. And the windows have been put in, and Stanley said that they're gonna get them, be painted, trimmed out. As soon as the wood cures and all, they'll be taking care of that.
They look good, double pane,
Mhm.
should provide some insulation. Makes the building look a lot better than whatever. I think he said there was some small stuff on the ports that needed to be fixed,
Mhm.
and that was it. Okay. Corps of Engineers has nothing to report. Did we report last month about him getting back with us and tell us they were gonna do the dredging? Yeah, I thought. Economic Development, Commissioner Cole,
Nothing to report, nothing concrete. We still got this one that's really close. That and two others.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that today. Sherry was at the meeting. And we talked about infrastructure out at Crawford Diamond. And that there was some hope about upgrading the infrastructure out there. And if that ever happens, and they get it done, everything out there is gonna fall into place. We're gonna start getting a lot of business out there. There he is. Man, we were just about to run out of the agenda, just in time. Come on up here and give us a report.
Look at Brad.
Get your breath. You didn't forget where we were, did you?
Huh?
You remember where we were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just left work late.
I got you.
Just had somebody in my office.
He takes off Monday and Friday.
I know.
He works 30 minutes a day, the other way.
Yeah.
Well, you have the treasurer's report, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of looked at it.
So there's nothing unusual in the treasurer's report, no. The accounts are a little low, we got a lot of bills to pay. Oh, there it is. So we're waiting for, we have two grants we're waiting for reimbursement on. So obviously the ARPA payroll grant that we submitted, 37,000, I told you at the last meeting.
Yeah.
Hopefully that should be here any day now. And obviously the second one, I'm assuming David give you an update. You were waiting with, so the second one is the master plan.
Yeah.
Where obviously we talked about in order to get that reimbursement, so we have a $45,000 reimbursement waiting on that. So in order to get that reimbursement, obviously we need to,
Probably detail.
yeah, submit milestones.
Yeah.
There's
I'll talk
some
to Justin.
requirement.
Yeah, I'll talk to Justin about it.
Okay, so, yeah, so there's some requirements, so obviously we're working on that. So both those are in, so we're holding on those. I've submitted a third one for accounting services that we're waiting for Patrick to come back to speak on, so.
Okay.
So all those are in the works, trying to get more money flowing, so we have more money in the accounts to make sure we have enough to pay our bills. But everything's fine, I mean, like I said, it's just waiting on reimbursements now, like I said, we have the two for sure. We're expecting in the next 30 days, and then obviously we're trying to find other options, so.
So still haven't heard anything about the ZPMC grant.
Oh, so obviously that's in process.
Yeah.
So the next one will pay the final 231,000,
Mhm.
and then there's two more small ones.
Yeah.
Of, I want to say 132 more, 130,000. So there's still about 500,000 up to on that.
And just waiting on the government to get us the money back.
Yeah. Yeah, so just waiting.
Any questions for Pierre? Make his time worth it. Come on.
Just in time.
Yeah.
Round time.
Thank you, Pierre.
Yeah.
All right, TCC, Commissioner Hannah.
I actually did not attend this week, as I was telling you earlier. I was in Philadelphia doing my wife's mom.
TPO, Commissioner Cole.
Nothing to report. We do have a meeting tomorrow and did talk with Jeff, and we had talked last year about making a presentation for OHPA to the board there, and he'd still like to do that, and we can get together and do a slideshow presentation and to get y'all to do a tour of that facility. So we'll be working on that. So.
Very good. Commissioner Hill is not here to report on her committees. Anything from the office manager? You got anything?
None to, no additional
Is there
report.
anything you need for the office? now
No,
that you've
I will just get Mr. Kaufman all set.
you did order his nameplate. Any other items to be brought by the commissioners? Anybody want to tell us anything? Any announcements?
And the commission is having a ribbon cutting for the 2 o'clock on Friday.
Okay.
I plan on trying to do that.
Yeah, but that's a 2.
Okay. Are we doing
The old fire station on Minor Road.
it? Okay. Becky is a great lady. Class. She was in my class 14. Cool. Any other items to be brought by commissioners? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.